This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's know our instructor. I'll be instructor for this program. I have extensive experience into the monitoring and testing domain, performance testing. I hold almost 10 plus years of experience in multiple organization. Other than that, I'm delivering similar or kind of like uh, tech tool tech solutions based programs from last 6 7 years of time, and I'm associated with Isha from last almost like it's been 3 years. Here our extensive goal would be to making completely ready to take challenges on Grafana side, and that's our final takeaway. We're gonna like discuss on to the complete agenda of the course following the time once we'll have our demo progress today. So before we move forward, I'd just like to understand expectation and the audience who are here to participate in this program. And this is more to read through what sort of like expectation they have, so that the program will be some or other way can be made inclined towards that for maximum takeaway. So feel free to take on to the mic and help me with like a small introduction. When I say like small, it would be like what sort of like experience you people have, and what the expectation with the program, and specifically to Grafana, you can detail that. Do you have any like you people are like beginner to Grafana, absolute new, or having a good experience? Yeah, so these three would be the mandatory one. Anything addition to it that you feel comfortable, you can add in. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. My name
Anyone?
is Srihari.
Yeah,
Yes,
hi
I'm sorry.
Srihari. Welcome to the program.
Yeah. Thank you, Smith. So I'm doing work from home for an organization, and I'm having around 10 years of experience, out of which 6 years into Java with Selenium, and I'm currently doing automation testing. And my organization, they asked us to do T6 performance testing tool by giving some Udemy course, but I'm not happy with that one. And I'm new to this performance testing. I am having some knowledge about Jmeter, but I didn't execute any projects, not done anything.
Okay, got it. Thanks,
Yeah,
Srihari.
thank you.
Yeah, I can see one chat from Sunil. Is there Prometheus covered in this course? Yeah, one of the backend that what we'll be using to power the Grafana for the source would that will be gonna like be Prometheus. It's not a Prometheus course, but we definitely need a source to power our Grafana, and Prometheus will be that source for this program. I hope that answers. Yeah. Oh, who is taking up the mic next?
Hey, hi Sumit.
Hey, Hadeep.
Uh, Sumit, so I'm having 5 plus years of experience in a DevOps domain, and
Great.
currently I'm working with Docker and Kubernetes with the AWS cloud. So, to the extension of for the Kubernetes cluster management, I wanted to get the idea of the Grafana and Prometheus. So,
Mhm.
are you going to cover these scenarios in this program? Like regarding to the monitoring of the Kubernetes cluster and everything.
Yeah, we can include one of the session for Kubernetes, though it's not part of this program, but we can include one session where we will look upon that what needs to be monitored in case of Kubernetes infrastructure. Hope that looks good to you. I mean,
Okay. Can you tell us which like part of program you are covering? What are the syllabus and
yeah,
everything?
that we'll gonna like see for sure once we'll progress today. And thanks for the introduction, Deep.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the program. I can see Sunil. If you can come up on mic, it would be more easier for us to discuss. Or if any trouble with the microphone, we can talk on, okay, not an issue. I can see one more person with no name. Okay. Uh, yeah, I think let's take on like Sunil, questions. So this program, okay, let's start with the same, okay, that what we all gonna like see in this program. So is that something we should start with, or we should have kind of like a quick demonstration and then followed by understanding the curriculum of this program? What do you people suggest?
Yeah, anything is fine as you wish.
Okay. So what I generally do with all the program that been previously delivered, right? We started with understanding first of all this Prometheus and Grafana, what it all, and how Grafana gonna like be a help in different situation, and then followed by understanding the curriculum, okay, in this demonstration, and then detailing about that going forward, how we're gonna like progress with the time, what we're gonna like see in upcoming session related to lab or any further discussion, any sort of like a scope of adding in some external use cases to the program. So all those discussion will gonna like be uh, part of the program as we progress with the time. So let's start with the same technique. Okay, so what's agenda we are having for today? First of all, like understanding Grafana. Okay, that what Grafana is, what's the need of the industry. That's where we look forward to Grafana as a tool. Where exactly Grafana lies, uh, in which domain and what's the sector it does cover, and a kind of like high level view of Prometheus as well as Grafana altogether, understanding its workflow. So that's the high level agenda that we're gonna like discuss. So let's understand first what Grafana is, okay? And Sunil, I have read through your, question, and I believe that once we'll progress, you're gonna like get, answer right there. Okay. So first of all, let's understand what is Grafana. So Grafana is an open source time series analytics based solution. It's a monitoring less, more onto visualization solution. Okay. So when I say less monitoring and more on visualization means uh, it is one of the solution which is being a favorite into the market in recent time when it comes to a very user friendly visualization which is highly enriched in terms of giving uh, a kind of like user friendly view, okay, to the end user, and providing a kind of unified platform to deal with multiple data sources altogether. And if you'll see, even after being into like open source, it holds a strong community support as well as a strong adoption rate into the IT industry. And there are like few names popular names, we can say that those organizations are actively utilizing Grafana open source solution, to meet their existing need onto the visualization layer. Okay, some are like Intel, PayPal, Walmart, NetApp, and many more. Okay, you might be like uh, you might have seen in your organization too. Either they're like POCs going on, or they're like some development team, DevOps team. They are very much focused. And when it comes to like container world, it's one of the most favorite. Okay, not just from the recent time, but from the time where Grafana introduced it itself into the market. So from decade, we can say it's been one of the favorite solution together with Prometheus. Okay, so that's Grafana. We're gonna like see its complete architecture in our upcoming sessions, where what are all different you know services being offered by Grafana, in what form this product is available, SaaS, on-prem, or any other options it does like provide in terms of like deployment. um, and now let's understand that when we need Prometheus, and what Prometheus is. So Prometheus is a time series database monitoring solution. And when I say like Prometheus, Prometheus is a complete monitoring solution. It's not just a visualization solution, just like Grafana, but it's a complete package. So that's why we are referring it as a full stack monitoring solution, and Grafana as one of the visualization solution. So with the recent advancement, Grafana even is nowadays known as a full stack observability solution, where Grafana does offers capability of not just providing a visualization layer, but providing capability of monitoring any application, machine, or a different kind of like IoT based system. So now if we'll understand the workflow, how Grafana works. So Grafana requires a backend system where it needs to be integrated with, and that system should be self capable of picking up data from different system. So when we discuss about Prometheus is one of the time series based monitoring solution. When I say like time series based, it means it does store the metrics, okay, collected from different sources, and it's stored over a timestamp based a collection technique. Okay, and you may have heard of like key value pair. So that's its concept of storing the information in the key value pair, where your key will be one of the metric and value will be its representational state at that point in time. So this is how like Prometheus stored information, and because of which it being referred as time series based database monitoring solution. And the database, again, it does uses it's a time series database. Again, it can be native, or it can be any external similar database which needs to be attached with the Prometheus. So how Prometheus works? Prometheus work in pull based uh, technique, where it actually scrap information or pulls information which are exposed on a system, source system. And how those are exposed? Those information are exposed with the help of a special a binary, or we can say like Prometheus utility. We refer it as Prometheus exporter, and that exporter helps to fetch or scrap information or collect information from any system, okay, and exposes them on a particular port. Same would be scrapped by Prometheus service discovery engine, and it's one of the Prometheus component. Again, that we're gonna like understand in detail when we progress with the time, since this is a demo session and we are simply looking forward to understand the workflow. So it does pull some information uh, from that exposed information by the exporter, and it stored it into the time series database. Now when it comes to, so these are exporter, we can say. So we have node exporter, okay, we have MySQL, we have SNMP exporter. So there are like n number of exporters available, and these exporters are nothing but specialized software, we can say, or lightweight utility programs which actually fetch required information and exposes them on a port in the form of um, a key value pair that is suitable to Prometheus time series database. Okay, so I'll take a pause here if anyone have any sort of like input or any question. Now we are good.
This
Yes.
Prometheus is a separate tool, or it is also bundled with Grafana, Sumit?
Um, so uh, I can call you Hari if that looks good.
Yeah, fine, no problem.
Okay, okay. So Hari, yeah, both are separate tools. Grafana is like completely different tool, and Prometheus is a different tool. I mean, both are different solutions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now see, this is the Prometheus UI. This is how we're gonna like see those information on Prometheus when we'll store the information onto Prometheus time series database. So this is how it appears. So one thing is very clear after observing this, right? That this is not user friendly, first of all, and second, if you'll immediately see the option of visualization, it's again very limited. One is graph and second is console view. Only two option. So graph is what like most of the time we are dominantly looking on to, and this is how it represents the information. So it's look quite kind of like ambiguous as well, difficult to read through and find out like a meaningful information. Okay, so that's where Grafana comes into picture to define its strength and provide a solution to this particular issue. Okay, giving enrich visualization for the similar matrix what is collected here. Okay, so how the same matrix will be visible, this is what the representation will be. So if we'll compare both of them, we can easily say that this anyhow overrules or completely suppress the visualization power what being offered by Prometheus and correspondingly Grafana, and that what it made it like lot popular in terms of its visualization capability. Okay, so any question? I mean, any input. If you feel that you have something to add in, feel free to take my. Yeah.
Sumit,
Mhm.
what will be the prerequisite for starting the course? Like, what kind of technologies we should know, and what kind of scenarios you are considering in?
Okay, that's a good question, Deep. Actually, so if if you want to understand Grafana, the prerequisites would be the very first that one should be familiar with the Windows system as well as like Linux systems. Okay, they should have like familiarity that what Linux platforms uh, looks like and what sort of like kind of like basic understanding even would be sufficient, you know, but that is required. Second, they should have kind of some sort of like background to monitoring solution, that what is actually monitoring solution is, and why we need monitoring solution. So that understanding even gonna like be a plus if someone is going to deep dive with Grafana. Okay, so this will be kind of like prerequisites for this program.
Okay.
Yeah, and if there will be any external need of like any additional platform, for example, if anyone having uh, as a platform AWS within their organization, having understanding would be again be plus. And so if it will be AWS, then CloudWatch, we know that's one of the service which is dominantly used for monitoring. And if we'll move to Azure, then in Azure we know that there is uh, Azure Monitor. So these all understanding will be like definitely a plus, which will enable to move faster understanding Grafana as a like similar monitoring solution. And Prometheus, definitely it will give you edge if you have already understand Prometheus, as well as so Prometheus does offers one of the a major site, that is Prometheus. So Prometheus is a very stable and kind of like a, a great query technique, which is not very advanced, nor it's kind of like immature to deal with the data. It's it's a very acceptable query language, and because of which Prometheus holds a strong its footprint into the market of like open source solution. And all these dashboards are being powered, if it's powered by like Prometheus as a source, then Prometheus query language only. So yeah, this is another prerequisites you can say, but uh, Prometheus is not that advanced that you'll gonna like take a lot of time to understand it. The moment you will start developing something on Grafana, you will easily gonna like adopt this language. And the community support is very good when it comes to Grafana. So you need not to be worried that how I'll make this fascinating dashboard, right? I have to, mm, very hands-on with Prometheus, then only. No, that is not required. Uh, with the time, we'll progress. You'll get to know that there are like sufficient techniques available through which you can create of kind of like heavy engineering on Prometheus side dashboards with no engineering efforts, no heavy engineering efforts. So that technique will kind of like definitely understand going forward in this program. And I think this indirectly answers Sunil question. Okay, so when we see Grafana, eh, the community support and the continuous adoption by the market or industry, it gives a promising hold, why one should develop competencies with Grafana as a tool. Okay, because of its you know higher adoption rate into the market in open source space. And second, since it's open source, any customization, any sort of like learning development can be performed easily, and one can develop themselves onto the very next level in comparison to any enterprise level solution. Okay, so integration option, if you'll see, it does offers a high number of integration, even being into the open source space. But yes, there'll be certain restriction, which again we're gonna like see in our upcoming session. That yes, since it's open source solution and Grafana does have an offering into enterprise size too, they does restrict for the sake of like having business. But again, uh, the required number of integration with the open source is sufficient enough to adopt this solution. Okay, so now we'll see the curriculum and how we're gonna like follow it in our upcoming session. So before we jump onto it, by the time any other technical concern or question, if anyone have.
Sumit, are you covering K6 performance tool also part of this one, or that is not there here?
It's dedicatedly not there, but if time permits, if we'll be able to cover all the concept in timely manner, right? We will gonna like incorporate couple of additional items that we have seen into our past, sessions also, that we used to extend, we used to cover some additional use cases too, as per the mutual agreement, as well as kind of like if time permits, again subject to like time permits. But yes, we do gonna like include some um, additional like K8 related. And I think you were the second one other than you. Deep also does put that point, if Kubernetes related monitoring practices or what needs to be monitored, if that can be discussed.
Okay. So, what is the duration of this course, Sumit? How many days it will go?
So its range is actually between 12 to 15 hours, but sometime it get extended more than that even. So yeah,
Okay.
that's expected. Approximate learning hours we can say,
Okay, Sumit.
and it
Thank
will
you.
be, yeah, no problem. You're welcome. And it will be a kind of like a full place hands-on based session. It's not just like we'll gonna like cover theoretical stuff. Most of the time it will be more on practical side and less on theoretical side. Okay, so let's start with like understanding the program, what we're gonna see from tomorrow onwards. So first will be overview of Grafana, where we'll understand Grafana role, okay, in monitoring, and benefits of having such a like enriched visualization option. Then we'll progress with like installation and setup part, where we'll install Grafana on cloud. That will be one of our demonstration. And we'll one thing which will be requested to everyone to have Grafana set up on their system. For that, we'll see implementation on Windows system as well. So that will be another um, area we can see. I hope everyone have like Windows system. I mean, it's recommended to have a Linux-based platform, for which I'll request everyone to have a AWS free account with them. That should be sufficient, to make a kind of like enterprise level learning, something which is near real production system. So that I'll recommend. Okay. How many of you have some or other sort of like exposure with AWS?
I have exposure.
Okay. So if you don't have, need not to be worried. Whatever would be required, I think that I'll gonna like give you kind of like walkthrough. So we'll be looking on to couple of services within AWS that I'll walk you through, as well as step-based guided document will be provided for setting up a free tier account and setting up like Grafana. Okay, then we'll progress with like understanding and exploring Grafana interface, user interface. So this is Grafana. Okay, this being hosted on local system, and we'll understand that what are all different options we do have, how to utilize all these option, when we'll gonna like see these option, what are like some of the most useful options available out of it, how we can control uh, the view of these options even. So end to end, this program will make sure that at the end you are absolute, uh, like a kind of like Grafana SME, you can say. Okay, so then we'll progress with module 2, where we'll talk about like data sources and dashboards. So in data sources, our target would be utilizing Prometheus, AWS, and MySQL if we'll be able to host it, uh, and continue it, then we'll have this as another data source. Then we'll move forward with uh, our first dashboard, and then designing out layout within the same, and customizing the same dashboard for different views. Then we'll understand panels, what are different types of panel available within Grafana. From this, we'll progress forward with building effective dashboards, where our focus would be to understanding the best practices in designing an informative and useful dashboard. Then a detailed understanding onto the side of like panel configuration. Okay, then most important would be templating and using variables for designing a dynamic dashboard. So this will be in our module 3rd. And then our next one would be user administration and workspace management within Grafana. So how we can segregate data, what are different techniques available to manage user, onboard users. Okay, then we'll progress with understanding LDAP and what are all configurational changes that needs to be performed to set up LDAP as part of like production grade Grafana deployment. Then we'll progress with like alerts and notification, where we'll set up alerts, okay, on kind of like real-time data, and then we'll set up notification channels and notification policies. We'll understand all these, and we'll even look on to troubleshooting techniques for the alerts if there are like some issues or some sort of like uh, a kind of like a collaboration we are having with any team to set alerts. So, and we are facing some sort of issue, we'll create those issue and try to get into the area of like troubleshooting. Okay, then I will move with the advanced features of Grafana. That would be a first introduction to plugins, where we'll understand the role of plugins and how we can integrate the same to extend Grafana capability. Okay, next one would be annotation. So annotation is something where we'll try to understand that how annotation helps to make our data more enriched in terms of information. Then our next, integrations, where since it's a open source solution, what we're gonna like utilizing in this program. So we might not be able to integrate this with a enterprise level solution, but onto the scope again, we're gonna like integrate some additional layer for notification. We can integrate with like email system, so SMTP relay setup, and in addition to that, uh, we can have Slack integration or any other similar integration. to have uh, like a kind of like ecosystem as per production grade, environment. Next, we'll see containerize a deployment of Grafana. So we'll basically uh, try to understand that how a Dockerized implementation can be done, and we'll see the advantages of it. Okay, last one would be on to the performance tuning. We'll try to understand that what sort of like technique we need to follow to make sure that our Grafana is, healthy in terms of performance, and it's not lagging when it's being overloaded with like multiple data sources. So that performance tuning will gonna like see and understand, and best set of like practices will gonna like look upon, as well as we'll try to troubleshoot onto the performance issues. For example, if some teams are complaining that they are observing some lag onto the platform into their queries, so that even we'll gonna like generate during our program and see that how we can troubleshoot the same. Last would be we'll gonna like thoroughly take in a kind of like a real-time use case only, because currently also I'm working as a SRE only, and we have multiple tools, and Grafana is one of the dominant, as I said. So whatever use cases we're gonna like cover or discuss, those all will be absolute in real time. Those what are getting utilized on day-to-day basis. So yeah, and definitely practical exercises as what I mentioned. It will gonna like more on to a practical or hands-on based program and less on theoretical stuff. And questions are always welcome. Any sort of like additional input, feedback, feel free to come up. I That will be positively, uh, accepted and taken by me. Um, Rest will conclude our course with a kind of like a summarization and understanding what sort of like takeaways we do had, and a course completion certificate by the ISA Foundation. Okay, so this will be our entire curriculum. Now, if anyone have any sort of confusion, feel free to take mic and come up with the question.
Sumit, Deep here.
Yeah.
So at the end of this course, like
Hmm.
it's Grafana is just like data visualization tools, right?
Yeah, we can say it's data visualization layer, but now having Grafana as competencies is definitely a edge.
And like it's a can we control the data from here, or just we can monitor the data?
Control data, can you a bit like expand it so that I can answer it correctly?
Like, can we write some queries, or can we uh, like do some automations with the help of Grafana?
Uh, Automation is possible. Okay, we'll see that option too. Automation is possible, but controlling source, system would be slightly challenging until unless we don't have, you know, um, kind of like we are not if focused with Grafana complete package, right? Then
Okay.
and we are relying on a different solution, then controlling it out would be definitely a challenging side. So
So,
for example, if we have CloudWatch, yeah,
okay,
go ahead.
okay, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so for example, uh, we have like CloudWatch integration with Grafana. Okay, so CloudWatch is acting as source. So whatever payload information that is sending out to Grafana, that we can see and we can control the viewpoint. If we really want
Okay.
to control it from the source, that is not available. And same thing, I think it's with any mature solution also. For example, Splunk. So if you'll see a Splunk, uh, if you want to control something on CloudWatch, that is not possible. But yes, there are like some advanced capabilities available where we generally parse the data, right? That parsing capability would be limited in case of Grafana, since it does like kind of like native query technique.
Okay. So like, what I wanted to ask, like, we can
Hmm.
integrate with anything, right? Like AWS Cloud,
Yeah,
Azure Cloud, GCP Cloud, Kubernetes, Docker.
yeah, that is another it's X factor of Grafana. That integration option is really great, and that what makes it like one of the best suitable solution, because it does unified your end data sources together on a single view.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we'll kind of like see that. Yeah,
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Thank you.
welcome. Any other question?
No, Sumit. Thank you.
So it's Sumit, it's like a daily class,
Hmm?
like it's a weekend class or weekday class.
Uh, Currently we are targeting it to like go weekend only. Okay, but again, we can somewhere see as per the participation and inclination. But yes, it's a planned a weekday session every day, 9:30 to 10:30 IST
Okay.
hours. I'll stop.